Hello and welcome. No, I'm just kidding. Shout out to Roofermonger though. No story or fancy intro today. I've got a quick video for you inspired by a question from Sergeant Slippery on my Kitsune review. Go check that out if you haven't already. And he asked me about hand placement on Leverless controllers. I'm no expert at this, I'm a beginner too, but hopefully some of these tips will help you to get started if you're also completely new to Leverless controllers. Okay, starting with the left hand, we're going to have our ring finger on left, middle finger on down, and our index finger on right. And a lot of trouble that people have with the left hand placement is doing quarter circle back motions. A good way to help yourself to do this is to roll your hand to the left as you're doing quarter circle back. You probably won't have much troubles doing quarter circle forward because the index finger is quite mobile anyway, but this definitely helps when you're a beginner. The right hand has to deal with a lot more buttons, so it can get quite complicated, but to start off, we're going to have the index finger on square, which is light punch, middle finger on medium punch, which is triangle, and the ring finger on R1, which is usually hard punch. And it's best to rest your thumb on light kick here because you can move your thumb between X and circle for when you want to throw or when you want to parry, like this. You can just leave your three main fingers at the top here and move the thumb as needed between light kick and medium kick. So at this point, if you're playing Street Fighter, you might be wondering how you're going to drive impact, and it's not that comfortable to move your thumb all the way over there to hard kick to do it. You can if you want to. What I prefer to do is to map my drive impact to this button here. That's the L2 button. And if you really need a parry button, map it to this one. The reason I map it to L2 is because my pinky finger is in a perfect spot here. So whenever I need it, I just stiffen my finger. I don't even aim for it or think about where it is. I just stiffen my finger in my hand and slam it down, and it's there all the time. So I'm hitting it with this part of my finger or anywhere along here, but I'm not actually aiming it with the tip of my finger. So this way I don't even think about it. If I need to do a reversal, if I'm doing a combo, I just slam my hand down like this. And it doesn't matter if you accidentally press the parry button at the same time because drive impact will always cancel out the parry anyway. So you don't even have to think about drive impact. Just like that. The jump button is a challenge. I've had massive problems with this ever since the beginning, and I've tried swapping to my left hand and my right hand. I think after half a year or maybe a year, if you want to switch your technique around, it's fine. You might want to try with your left hand. But I think for a beginner, it's best to use your right thumb for jumping. It's going to be difficult at first because you'll be sharing the thumb with the light kick. I think it's best if you always hover your thumb on the light kick. When you want to jump, just lower your thumb to press it, and always return your thumb up to the light kick because you don't want to get confused if you want to do a light kick or a jump. You should wire your brain so that if you're moving your thumb, it's going to be light kick, and if you want to jump, you have to intentionally move your thumb down, but always return your thumb back to this position. Things can get difficult if you have a character who has jumping throws because it's hard to move your character, jump, and do a quick throw. Somewhere down the line you might get good at doing this. If you want to do jump throw instantly, you should train yourself to press light kick and light punch with your index finger like this, and you could just slam all three buttons, that's jump, light kick and light punch at the same time. So it looks like that. If you're jumping back or forward, you can move around and then just slam it and it should come out. Once again, it's like this. You're using the tip of your finger, the joint, and your thumb, just pressing all three buttons at the same time. Another thing that can help with mobility is to play with the leverless like you would play a piano. So piano players, what they do is they're not resting their palms, they raise their wrists above the keys so that they can move their fingers freely. I also think that if you're resting your palms too much, you can get carpal tunnel syndrome or some sort of injuries along the way. And once again, you might want to experiment with this after half a year, you might prefer to rest your hands a bit. But to start off, if you're having trouble with mobility, just raise your wrists off the controller. And I think that's about it really. It's one thing you have to remember is that it's okay to suck at this for a long time. I've been using it for almost a month, and sometimes when I'm playing and I want to block, I end up pressing both left and right at the same time. I might panic and use my left thumb to jump. This is definitely something you have to lab constantly. It's a good idea to jump into the lab for 10-20 minutes before you start playing with your friends or going online. Just doing the most basic stuff, like your bread and butter combos, whatever it is. Just do the simple stuff over and over again, and train yourself to just jump, neutral jump, back jump. I mean, just do things that you would have taken as a given when you were using a controller or a stick, because you have to rewire your brain with your hands, and that's gonna take a long time. Eventually, when you get good, your play will be more accurate, because a button press is a button press. It's not going to be dubious like a stick can be at certain times. But again, just accept that you're gonna suck at this for a couple of months before you're back in a place you were when you were using a controller or a stick. Alright, I hope that helped. That was some very baseline tips. There are some more advanced stuff you can find on YouTube where pro players will show you how to use some of the shortcuts. But to start off with, I think this is a good basis so that your brain will always know where your hands and fingers are, and you'll be less confused. If this video helped you, don't forget to like and subscribe. If it didn't, or you have any tips of your own, feel free to share in the comments. See you in the next one.
The day bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday. No,